We will break that lobby's grip on our legislators, and we will win.
Right now on 13 Action News Live at 6, activists protest the NRA's role in blocking what they call common sense gun laws. And new concerns as more than a dozen wildfires burn across California. More people being told to evacuate, and windy conditions are making the battle to stop those flames even more difficult. But first, a suspect is dead following a 16-hour-long barricade that ended in an officer-involved shooting near the Stratosphere. That's where we find 13 Action News reporter Nina Porciuncula. She's been at that scene all day. And Nina, what can you tell us?
Well, Tom, we still have a lot of police officers here on scene. If you can push in right there, you can see that is the apartment complex where it all happened. We still have a lot of cops out there right now. And police told us it actually started around 9:30 last night when a woman flagged down an officer saying a man had kidnapped and raped her and went into an apartment in Baltimore and Fairfield. That's the apartment that we just showed you. Now, police were able to locate the suspect in that apartment. They were talking to him through the door when the suspect fired towards the officers. SWAT and crisis negotiators responded, and for 16 hours they tried to get the suspect to surrender as he continued to fire at officers, and the suspect indicated that he wanted to die. At around 1:15 this afternoon, then the SWAT officers, they were able to breach the apartment and encounter the suspect and fired multiple rounds. The suspect was pronounced dead at the scene. At this point, we still don't know if there was any relationship or if the victim is in any way known to the suspect, but we do know that no officers were injured during this barricade, and we are expecting to get more information coming from Metro in about 2 or 3 days as soon as they get more information on this. For now, reporting live, Nina Porciuncula, 13 Action News.
All right, thank you, Nina. Turning now, we want to take a live look outside. You may have been feeling some of that humidity, a little bit more so than usual the past couple days, though. 13 First Alert meteorologist Dan Branas joining us now, and hopefully we're going to dry out, right?
Oh yeah, it has started already, Tom. We got dry air in place across southern Nevada, and it is going to last over the next several afternoons. Yesterday, dew points in the 50s, still 60s in some parts of the valley. Today, they have plummeted half that actually. So much drier air has moved in, and you can see that on satellite. No storms anywhere across Nevada. Temperatures hot today. Look at your highs, 110 once again at McCarran. We just can't break the sea, and you know what? This type of heat is going to last well into the next coming work week. Hey, it's dropped to 107 right now at McCarran, but still well above that average of 104, 112 Henderson right now, and 108 Boulder City. We head into the overnight hours, and yeah, we'll have clear skies, but temperatures are going to remain warm. We're going to be watching some smoke that's sitting to our north. That could move a little bit further south overnight tonight, so maybe a little bit smoky during the overnight hours and tomorrow morning. Nothing horrible, but you might see that hazy smoke look once again around the city. I'll have more on that, more on your air quality, and more on this extreme heat coming up.
All right, thanks, Dan. Well, developing right now, the Red Cross of Southern Nevada has opened up a shelter at the Whitney Ranch Community Center in Henderson after a mobile home fire resulted in a power outage at a nearby community. Volunteers are reportedly providing meals, water, and cots to families from more than 40 homes. Well, activists, demonstrators, and survivors of gun violence gathered in Fairfax, Virginia this afternoon for the National March on the NRA. ABC's Daria Albinger has more on their fight for gun control.
Outside of the National Rifle Association's Virginia headquarters, demonstrators calling out the gun lobby for its role in blocking gun control legislation and for its continued defense of unrestricted sales of the AR-15 and similar weapons.
United, we will overcome a Russian-funded NRA that puts profit before life, forgets the meaning of well-regulated, and most of all, threatens our democracy.
Organizers with a number of demands, including banning high-capacity magazines, the institution of universal background checks, revoking the nonprofit status of the NRA, and calling for more research on gun violence and its impact on public health. Among the demonstrators, survivors of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting. 17 students and staff members gunned down there last February.
I will never have the kind of fear and anxiety that my daughter did running down the hall at school with an AR-15 at her back. I do not care what the gun lobby thinks of me. We will break that lobby's grip on our legislators, and we will win.
The NRA also being targeted by New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo. The gun lobby claiming in a lawsuit that it's suffering grave financial harm, saying Cuomo and state regulators made it clear to banks and insurers that it is bad business in New York to do business with the NRA. The lawsuit asking the court to have the Cuomo administration cease its anti-NRA practices. For his part, Cuomo said Friday the state is filing a motion to dismiss the lawsuit, adding, "If I could have put the NRA out of business, I would have done it 20 years ago." Daria Albinger, ABC News, New York.
Well, close to 5,000 students are going back to school this year without vaccinations. That's according to the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Parents are allowed to skip vaccinations for their children as long as they get an exemption from the district. They can cite medical reasons or religious beliefs. The RJ reports close to 5,000 exemptions were made last year because of religion, and close to 500 were made due to medical reasons. Well, firefighters battling 17 large wildfires across California are now bracing for stronger windy conditions. That's forcing officials to issue a new round of evacuations. Near the Mendocino complex fires, the threat is so large now that officials are telling people in those areas to get out immediately. Red flag warnings are in effect for several parts of Northern California, including Redding, where the Carr fire is still burning out of control. Today, the governor toured that charred area. The state is bringing in more resources, too. Firefighters from Australia and New Zealand will arrive on Monday. The president's immigration policy getting blowback this week. On Friday, a federal judge ruled that the DACA program must be resumed, and in another ruling, a judge deciding the Trump administration is solely responsible for reuniting hundreds of children with their parents, those families separated at the U.S.-Mexico border. With more, here's ABC's Stephanie Ramos.
President Trump's immigration policy suffering two legal setbacks this past week. A federal judge ruling that the administration must restore DACA, an Obama-era program offering deportation relief for some 700,000 undocumented immigrants brought to the country as children, known as dreamers.
Some people call it dreamers. It's not dreamers. Don't fall into that trap.
The White House has 20 days to appeal that decision. The president suggesting he's willing to go all the way to the Supreme Court. Ali Tarabi, a DACA recipient from Iran, has lived in San Diego for 22 years.
Having this back and forth where one day we don't know if we're going to have any protections and we're up potentially could get deported or detained, to telling us, well, yeah, we'll keep the protections. It's difficult. I'm not going to lie to you. It's really emotionally difficult.
Judge John Bates, a George W. Bush appointee, is the third judge to order that the program be restarted. Bates calling the president's decision to end DACA last September arbitrary and capricious and inadequately explained. In another setback, the White House losing its argument that the ACLU and other charities should carry the burden of reunifying those remaining 572 children separated from their parents at the southern border. The judge saying it is the sole responsibility of the Trump administration, adding that for each unresolved case, there will be a permanently orphaned child. And that is 100% the responsibility of the administration. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, New York.
All right, Golden Knights fans, some exciting news. William Wild Bill Karlsson has signed on a one-year contract through the 2018-2019 season. That contract worth $5.25 million. General Manager George McPhee says Karlsson has had a great year with the Knights, and they're excited to have him back for another season. Our 13 Action News Supplies for Success drive just ended, and we want to thank you for your generosity. Because of you, teachers and parents at 5 Valley schools will have peace of mind for this upcoming school year. We got everything from pencils, whiteboard, markers, and copy paper. And this is really a big deal because teachers usually have to dip into their own pockets to buy some of these supplies. So your donations will go a long way this year. The 13 Connect Supplies for Success is sponsored by Subaru of Las Vegas and America First Credit Union. And if you need a haircut before the new school year begins, you're in luck. A local business wants to help. My Salon Suite is offering free haircuts for elementary school students in exchange for school supplies. The event is tomorrow and it runs from 10 to 1. The address is there on your screen. The supplies will be donated to kids in foster care. All right, well, Kiki, there's a new warning. Mesquite police tweeting out this traffic sign there. It says, "Buckle up, Kiki." It's warning about the dangers of the Kiki challenge. Across social media, several people have been posting videos to Drake's song "In My Feelings," sometimes jumping out of moving cars and dancing on the side. The Mesquite police says this is, of course, very dangerous, and to always remember that your life is more important than just getting a bunch of likes. Well, to the rescue, a police officer's quick action saving the life of a little girl. The toddler was choking on food when he steps in to help, and the ordeal is caught on camera. A new wave of students spending part of their summer learning how to protect us from future cybersecurity threats. And count on Chopper 13 to bring you breaking news fast and first. We'll be right back. An amazing rescue all caught on camera. Florida police officer is being called a hero tonight after he saved the life of a 14-month-old girl. You can see there in this video. She was choking on a chicken nugget, her mother screaming for help in what looks to be the middle of a mall food court there. And back here at home, police are looking for a woman who's missing. Take a look. Giovanna Pereira was last seen on August 2nd around 6 p.m. near Southern Highlands Parkway in Valley View. Anyone who has seen her is encouraged to call Metro, that number 702-828-3111. Well, when you think of summer camp, you might think of canoes and cooking s'mores, but how about a place to train what could be our next wave of cyber defenders? Chris Welch takes us there.
There's a visual of a floppy disk, so click on it, see what it does.
These students are part of a generation that wouldn't even know what a floppy disk was were it not for a school project.
Oh, I did this project in 4th grade about the 80s. It was like a back in time project.
But it's this generation that will protect us from future cybersecurity threats.
The Linux that we're going to use is Ubuntu.
It's a week-long cyber camp taking place in classrooms nationwide this summer. It's sponsored by the U.S. Air Force Association's Cyber Patriot program. They'll cover a range of cyber topics.
Stuff like hacking and engineering.
Although the H word,
a verboten word, yes,
is off limits for instructor Randy Mills.
The word hacker in the internet field has become so laden with negative connotations that people become panicked when they see that. So we would rather view it as we're teaching defensive skills rather than offensive skills.
It's still not working. It's about safeguarding devices, computers, even phones. Security firm Northrop Grumman sponsors hundreds of these camps around the world.
Cyber can be kind of intimidating. So I think a program like this is so valuable because children are going home and reprogramming their router at their house and making sure that things are a little more safe on their home networks.
This group just finished up a lesson on how to create more secure passwords.
It can be solved in about like 30 seconds if you only have numbers. So you have to use uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols like apostrophes and stuff like that.
But back to the floppy disk.
I just don't know what it is still. It's like a floppy disk.
Well, that's okay, because in here, he won't need one. I'm Chris Welch reporting.
All right, well, we've been talking about a good economy, but are you feeling it? Pay isn't going up as much as experts had expected. An economist told the Washington Post that minimum wage raises aren't helping everyone at big companies. People who have been with companies for years are making about the same as new hires. The lowest paid workers have gotten an average raise of 0.7%. That's what labor statistics show. Middle pay workers got a 0.3% raise. It doesn't translate to much, especially compared to food prices. The good news, though, is other businesses are lowering their education and experience requirements, so it may be time to shop around. Well, Shania Twain returning to a stage right here on the Las Vegas Strip.
Let's go, girls.
Yeah, you hear there the country pop queen live in concert tonight at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. The show will start at 8 o'clock and you can still snag some tickets. It's been almost 4 years since Shania wrapped up her Still the One residency over at Caesars. Looking ahead to tomorrow, local celebrities are coming together to bowl for a good cause. The Out of the Gutters Celebrity Bowling Tournament is benefiting the Nevada SPCA. This is all happening at the Sam's Town Bowling Center on Boulder Highway. And our very own Las Vegas Morning Blend team will be there. You'll see JJ and Micah and Julie all putting on their bowling shoes. Well, now to that severe weather, fast-moving storms flooding neighborhoods, and there's a new round of hot, dry weather hitting the wildfire zones in the west. Fires now flaring up in Texas as well. Sam Champion tracking it all.
Another day of drenching rain for the more than 50 million people who call the eastern U.S. home. In Lynchburg, Virginia, officials there issuing a warning that the College Lake Dam was at risk of imminent failure. A failure could send up to 17 feet of water into parts of the city of 80,000. 150 homes there now evacuated. Crews working around the clock to stabilize the at-risk dam. In New York City, the National Weather Service confirming Friday that an EF0 tornado tore through 9 city blocks of College Point, Queens.
It was like a matter of 2 minutes maximum, and then everything was fine again.
Cleanup now underway after winds up to 85 miles per hour toppled dozens of trees.
I heard just heavy winds, It shook the house, and then the power went off.
Non-stop rain in North Carolina, forcing roads to flood from the Blue Ridge Mountains to the coast, where some communities have seen more than 10 inches of rain. In Virginia, muddy water destroying parts of the Bella Rose plantation. Even areas in upstate New York underwater. While much of the East Coast is experiencing steady downpours, in Ohio, residents there were victims of sharp, powerful storms. Flash flood warnings continuing into Saturday, and some already soaked places could receive an additional 4 inches. Tornado warnings as far north as New Hampshire. Meteorologists say the next 24 hours could be rough, but there is some good news. Drier air is just behind all this moisture. Linda Lopez, ABC News, New York.
Well, outside, if we could bring some of that water out west, that would definitely help. I know the flooding is bad out east, but we need some moisture, especially across California and Oregon as there's wildfires going on. Some of them large. Look at the Carr Fire, 141,000 acres now. It has grown nearly 10,000 acres just in the last 12 hours. 41% contained. That's good news, but bad because it's still less than half. Look at that structures destroyed. Hey, 1,500. That's a lot from a fire. So definitely some bad situations up in Northern California. Right now, Redding, 99 degrees, dew point at 32, humidity at 10%. That is definitely dry. We're dry like that across southern Nevada as well. Here, humidity sitting at about 10-15%, dew points in the 30s. Now, take a look at the radar. No rain up in Northern California, so they're going to remain dry. We're remaining very dry as that moisture has pushed back to our east, well to our east, actually. 54 days at 100 since Raising Cane's starting to donate to Make-A-Wish. $5,400 in the bucket, and we're going to add a lot, especially this week as temperatures are going to be very warm. 107 right now, Las Vegas, 106 Anthem, 105 Pahrump. Laughlin still pushing 113 here at 6 o'clock. Air quality sensitive right now because of ozone concentrations. Now as we go into the overnight, we could watch a little bit of smoke pushing into the valley. We have some smoky conditions up to our north right now. That's going to drift a little bit south overnight tonight. So the valley might fill up with a little bit of smoke. So waking up, that hazy effect once again, kind of like we had last week, could be around. We'll be watching that. But as the afternoon progresses tomorrow, the smoke will lift and will clear out a little bit. Dew points very low, so humidity level is going to be very low. Look at this every day, below 35-degree dew point. Wednesday might see that increase a little bit, so a little bit more moisture to work with, but really not a lot. Excessive heat watches currently in effect for all of Clark County, pretty much except the higher elevations and across California, Arizona as well. We're going to be talking about some extreme temperatures in that 7-day forecast. Tonight, not so much. Temperatures actually cooling off to the mid-80s, and with the humidity level so low, it's going to feel a little bit nicer than it has the last couple of mornings. At least 73 tonight for you in Pahrump. Tomorrow's highs, once again, pushing 110. 109, that forecast high for Las Vegas. 119, Death Valley. 114 even in Laughlin. Allergy counts remaining very low, all categories. It's that time of year. Nothing's going to bloom. 111 on Monday, 112 on Tuesday. A lot of sunshine planned. No monsoon moisture to work with, so no storm chances at all. Maybe a slight increase in that rain chance on Wednesday. When I say slight, we're not expecting anything. We'll have to watch that closely. And as we go into the weekend, we might watch that monsoon return a little bit. But overall, we are expecting a dry week, warm week with excessive heat watches currently in effect.
Hey, at least it's a dry heat. Thanks, Dan. Well, a homeowner in Indiana says she doesn't need a home alarm system. She's got her pet pig. A single mother of 4 kids, the homeowner says she's thankful that the family wasn't home when crooks shattered the glass on her front door and then kicked their way inside. But police say the suspects didn't actually steal anything. Why? Police say they think they were scared off by the family pig.
They were guessing that whenever the person broke in, that they were probably pretty surprised that I had a pig, and they were like, okay, we don't want to deal with this.
And just in case you were wondering, the pig's name is Dumplin'. The homeowner says she rescued him earlier this year and it was love at first sight. She says she wishes more people would adopt pet pigs, even if they won't always keep the bad guys away. Well, the latest Mission Impossible installment is hot at the box office right now, and now the crew is shedding light on how the star did his own stunts, including the jump from a plane at 25,000 feet. All right, well, welcome back. Well, who's making the news in Tinseltown today? We're talking about Tom Cruise, Jennifer Lopez, and the new and old voice of Eeyore. Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
Tom Tom Cruise famously jumped from a plane at a reported 25,000 feet for the smash hit Mission Impossible Fallout. But of course, he didn't leap alone. As director Christopher McQuarrie explains, a specially trained cameraman had to jump out in front of Cruise backwards.
And the other trick about that is the cameraman can't actually see through the camera. He doesn't know whether he has the frame or not. He doesn't know if it's in focus. Everything is worked out on the ground, and then they have to do it in the air, falling at 160 miles an hour, and it's like ballet.
Jennifer Lopez is up for 2 MTV Video Music Awards for Dinero. She's performing on the award show, and now she has an even better reason to attend. J-Lo is receiving this year's Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award. The show airs live from New York on August 20th.
If anyone wants to clap, now is the time to do it.
Brad Garrett provides the voice of Eeyore in Christopher Robin, and it's not the first time the comedian has played the gloomy donkey.
About 25 years ago, I voiced Eeyore in a Valentine's Day special for television a long time ago. You know, it's such an iconic character, and I was so honored that it came back around, and I'm following the footsteps of some wonderful voice actors that have. So I'm hoping I'm accepted as the ass.
In the 100-acre Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
I had no idea he played Eeyore before. You learn something new every day. All right, well, Dan has another look at your forecast, but right now here's a live look outside the valley. You're watching 13 Action News, where we bring you breaking news fast and first. Stay with us. Well, some kids at the Boys and Girls Club in Lake City, South Carolina got a surprise they'll never forget when police officers showed up wanting to prove that they had the best dance moves. And things got really competitive, as you can see there, between the officers and those kids. And now that dance battle is going viral. And today is National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day. The delicious treat was invented by a woman named Ruth Wakefield, who published the first recipe in the 1938 edition of the Tried and True Cookbook. It caught on quickly, and by 1939, Wakefield sold her recipe to Nestle, along with the name of her restaurant, Toll House. And take a look at this. UNLVPD is celebrating with this funny tweet saying they could eat a box of cookies just as fast as donuts. So would I. I'm hungry for some cookies now.
Yeah, you know what? I think anyone can eat cookies just as fast as anything. You know, now with the forecast, some bad news is the temperatures. They're going to be extremely hot once again this week, and we could see a little bit of smoke, as I mentioned before, in the valley tomorrow. If we see it, it's nothing going to be bad. Don't expect anything to, you know, limit your visibility too much, just the haze out there. Overnight lows are going to be mild to moderate overnight lows. Dry weather in place. There's the good news. So the 112 on Tuesday, Wednesday is going to be a dry heat, but still excessive heat watches in effect.
Hey, no humidity, though. That's the good part. All right, well, here's a look at what's coming up in tonight's primetime lineup right here on ABC at 8. It's The Good Doctor, followed by 2020 at 9, and then keep it right here for 13 Action News at 11. Well, that's our news for right now. Stay with us. Judge Judy's coming on up next. We're always on at ktnv.com, our mobile app, our Roku channel. We'll see you right back here for Action News live at 11. Thanks for watching.